Media and Body Image by Christopher Sagun. What is media and body image as well as it's how media portrays body images such as fashion magazines, shows that fixate on how someone looks, how someone should look. That's what it kind of is, and why has that become such a social problem? It has created standards, determining that someone has a quote unquote good or bad body. This false sense of body image has established itself into our society, becoming a norm. It has become very commonplace that no one really notices it. And for my quote, that they use Facebook and Instagram to associate with a higher, that is so associates with higher body, like not being satisfied, and appearance of eating disorder symptoms, and that the rates were higher for not being satisfied with their body and the drive for thinness. It has caused a division between men and women and enforced bad habits, which a small example can be that, for example, it encourages men to be um, to objectify women, because it's a very big common thing in our society where magazines and shows objectify women in very multiple sexual ways, or in ways that they're submissive. So it enforces those bad habits that men need to have power over women. What would sociologists think? Well, obviously that it affects males and females. That, however, it affects women the most, which I said the objectification, and how there's such a staple on objectifying women or just hyper sexualizing women through media. So sociologists can say this is also a conflict theory. Basically, for example, conflict theory is inequalities, like an example, payment inequality, how women are paid less than men. So I feel like that's a prime example, especially with gender, that there's a difference between men and female, how which one is affected the most. Results to eating disorders and not being satisfied with their body image. Exactly, that they understand that this false body image can create very serious harmful things to people, like eating disorders and just not being satisfied with their body, which can lead to depression. And overall, if it's really intense, it could lead to suicide. Potential solutions: spreading body positivity through social media, which has been a very common thing now and has actually made goals. It has achieved goals. The body positivity movement aims to disrupt that unrealistic appearance of people, and engages like in to be yourself and to accept yourself, reality, embrace the offline world. Basically, get off of this unrealistic um, world of media, how media portrays this thing as like this is how it is, when we should embrace reality, real reality, you know. Strengths: spreading body positivity through social media, creates a supportive environment and community, encourages a more positive mindset. Through social media, it will catch more people's attention, which means it'll create more positive mindsets. A main criticism on body acceptance, that it focuses on emotional well-being, instead of health, like health benefits, which sounds like a limitation, but honestly, I think that's a strength, because if you have more of a positive mindset, you will be able to push that into reality and make actions towards, body positivity and being embraceful of it. Embrace the offline. It allows you to see reality, avoid the fake reality. People will gain a better self esteem by focusing on themselves for who they are instead of who they are not, which I think that is great. The study of media and body image, I feel like people are more aware of the effects of eating disorders, depression, makes people more critical of any media they consume that is related to body image, which I think that is great. People are not going to write it off as this is reality, this is the truth. People are more critical about it. Limitations: I think spreading body positivity can be easily written off. People are just scrolling on Instagram. It can pass by. People can make different interpretations of body positivity, which has been common, where people that are overweight interpret that as body positivity, accepting that, when in reality it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy to be overweight. We're not saying that it's okay to be overweight and stuff, and that it's bad to be super like it's that we need to be super skinny. It's like no, we also need to be healthy as well. So we shouldn't embrace this whole unhealthiness. People can find it hard to disconnect from online world. Internet has been an everyday thing, so it finds it hard to people find it harder to disconnect. It's also a very drastic measure. Not a lot of people are gonna do this. The fact that you can't consume media as much because of the risk of having these thoughts, and also just the study overall, it's become very complex in many cases, such as clear division between men and women, that there's different levels to study on both genders and what affects what. Power over women assesses men's general perceived control over women. Like I've said, it enforces, in the sense for men, that it enforces power over women to achieve more masculine looks, to gain that power. And also it can encourage aggressive behavior, which can be a very harmful thing towards a man and a female. And then there's just different levels to study as how false body image can be portrayed in many ways. For example, it says research is needed to be determined how a positive body image is shaped by unexplored social identities such as gender identity. For example, body functionality may be associated more with the masculine view of the body, whereas the self-care dimensions of body positivity image may be considered feminine, in the sense that things are going to be affected. What it may be associated with this, however, did something else can affect that to get to that point. So I feel like there's so many levels to measure that it's become so complex to determine what is the problem and what can we make to solve it. What solution can we come up to solve it? And I just think that there's always going to be more to look into and the more to understand. And that's it. Thank you.